Welcome back, everybody, to the Bionic podcast. I got my boy here, Alex Deb.
Hey guys, how are you?
So my buddy Alex, bro, we've known each other for so long. I have a
Yeah.
really cool episode for you guys here. We're going to talk a little bit about ourselves, our childhood, and kind of how we became friends. And then we're going to go into some really cool stuff with finance, all the awesome stuff Alex is doing. I just want to welcome everybody watching on YouTube. As you can see, we have the Italy jerseys on. Today is June 11th, first day of the Euro Cup. The boys are fired up, and we have a really nice cold Peroni beer. We're going to do a quick cheers before we start the podcast. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Oh, my pleasure.
So, guys, the game is at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Boys are absolutely pumped. We are starting off the day at 12 o'clock noon with our first beer of the day. We're going to have a couple drinks and really enjoy the game. Super pumped up to have you on, buddy. We have a lot to cover, man, because we've been friends for like a super long time. So we're going to start from like pretty much like how we met,
Yeah.
which was just like our elementary school.
Yeah, elementary school, Faustina.
St. Faustina
Yeah.
Falcon. So the boys went there like pretty much known each other since like JK, not even like grade
Yeah.
1 or 2 or whatever. Like we literally both went there. The school was new in the area. All the houses were super new and stuff. And this was like, dude, when we were like 4 years old.
Yeah, there were like strawberry fields before that school was even built.
Yeah, so as those homes were being built, our families moved there. That's kind of how we met, which was super cool. And kind of just like clicked like pretty like naturally, like just like classes together, like whatever it was. Like we were both Italian.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it was like we had a lot to relate about. And then early in our grade school is when we started playing soccer together.
Yes, correct.
That was really cool.
Yeah, small world at that point.
Yeah,
too.
so then we were practicing at the field of our elementary school. We both lived super close, so soccer practice was like literally down the street. We would go. He was the goalie for our team for like 3, 4, 5 years. Like I don't know how we did that. Where like we had the same, like you coming back to the same team. My dad was the coach, so
Yeah, his dad traded for me, got me on the squad.
I swear we did that one
Yeah,
year, right?
yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Saved me.
I knew it, man. My dad was like, we need that kid in nets. Like he was good at he really good goalie at a young age, bro. And
Yeah.
it was pretty obvious because like you were like willing to dive and do things at such a young age, and it was actually like really it was cool to watch because
I had
like,
fun doing it.
grade like 4 or 5, you were like saving like some crazy shots because
Yeah.
that's the age like kids can start like lifting the ball or whatever, but the goalies aren't necessarily jumping around making like high quality saves. But this guy was on a different level. It was actually like he got recruited from my pops. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So what was it like playing for my dad?
It was good. It was fun, honestly. It was nice to know like who the coach was. It was nice to know you guys. It was kind of like more of like a bonding moment to like further not only the friendship but also like my relationship with your family too.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Like, and that's the thing. When we were playing soccer, it was so fun.
Yeah.
You know, my dad never made it super serious, like whatever.
Yeah.
We were playing house league soccer, guys. It's not like rep or whatever.
Yeah,
So
no,
we were
carefree.
super young. Like
Yeah.
winning the championship was like cooler and doing any of that stuff. But we were just there to have a good time, and that's kind of how we really started bonding because we'd see each other outside of school, right?
Yeah, correct.
So hanging out, playing soccer, all that type of stuff. And yeah, bro. Like after that, we went to Joan of Arc together for 2 years before I pulled the op move.
Yeah, you left.
The famous signing there that
Yeah.
I just cut. And then but the thing is, like, even like after I left, we still kept like really close.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like still hanging out all the time on the weekends and stuff. So that was really cool because not with every friend wasn't like that, like from Joan of
Yeah.
Arc, you know what I mean? So yeah, bro, like we're so tight. It's actually
Yeah.
wild. So but yeah, bro, after that you decided to stay home. So I want you to talk to everyone about what you studied in school.
So I went and got my Bachelor of Business Administration degree with a specialization in finance. I did decide to stay home. It was just more cost friendly. I was paying my own tuition at the time, so I was working during school and paying my tuition. So I felt like if I moved away, I potentially wouldn't have found a job in that specific city. So I wanted to try and be safe, which isn't always the best option because at this point I do somewhat regret it in the sense of I didn't kind of have that full student experience. But
That's a creative thing, right?
yeah.
Like that's like
yeah,
it's not absolutely
Yes,
necessary to do
correct.
that. You know, that's a
Correct.
societal norm
Yes, exactly.
for sure.
But it did teach me a lot. Paying my own tuition really matured me because I was able to know, okay, from these hours I'm in class, these hours I'm working. This is the amount of money I need per semester to be able to send to my school. So it kind of matured me in that way of knowing how much money I need to save, what to spend on, where to put it. So it was, and especially that I was learning finance, becoming financially literate. It was a huge kind of bonus.
Yeah, so that's something I wanted to touch on too, because that's something that I learned about a while back when I watched the Joe Rogan and Kevin Hart podcast, where Kevin Hart has it's a foundation where they go to schools, young kids, like schools that are mostly government funded, like those types of areas in the states, and they teach finance literacy. So that's something that's huge and something that you've really helped me out with, being a young business owner, like at like 18, 19 years old when I started the company. I learned a lot from you, and you were like really, really young but knew so much. That's what I wanted to kind of bridge into is like
Hmm.
you were working at RBC.
Correct.
So tell everybody what your first job ever at RBC was.
So my first job ever at RBC was I was reviewing client accounts, and
Okay.
depending on whether I was looking at their loans, their credits, their debits, what they're making, their jobs, and I was balancing all of that information out. And depending on if they fell behind on a loan or a mortgage payment or a car payment, I was like 18 at the time. I couldn't even legally drink. And I was there at the bank speaking with clients, speaking with lawyers, because at some points I would have to send a house for foreclosure, send a car to be repossessed, close client accounts because they were of non payment. So that really kind of struck me, especially being so young. I would have clients calling in crying on the phone that their house is being foreclosed, like some very dark stories. And it made me fearful of debt. So whenever I use my credit card for anything, because using your credit card is good, whether you have cash back or points, I pay it off in full every month.
Every
I
time.
never want that interest. I never want to just make a minimum payment
Mm-hmm.
because of how fearful I was growing up in that sort of environment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for about 3 years before I moved on to a different role there. But even with my car payments, always on time. I think a big thing in our age and even younger people who are 17, 18, they don't realize how important a credit rating is. Like
Mm-hmm.
your credit rating is extremely important. You always want to be at our age. We're never going to be like above 800 because we don't have a mortgage or anything like that.
Yeah.
But stay around like the 750, 760 mark. Get the lower credit ratings, get the lower credit rates when it comes to loans and other types of vehicles. But always make sure your credit rating is good. Never miss a payment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
keep
that's
on
some
top of that.
Yeah, and that's something, guys, that the really cool story for me was I was in Italy reading this book, and it was like a mafia type book, and it's fitting because we have the jerseys on, and we are super Italian.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and for me having a consigliere, where it's someone that in the mob would make kind of like the financial decisions, but also was like voice of reason, someone that is like extremely mature, unbiased, and the book kind of taught me what to look for in a friend that you can go to for this type of advice. So Alex has kind of been that person for me, and a huge reason why I've never had any debt, or I have the same exact views when it comes to finance. I always pay my credit cards off right away and all that type of stuff. But before even that type of stuff, like your work ethic, you were working 2 jobs at RBC, and all this type of stuff. So one thing that I want to mention too is like to talk numbers with someone. Like
Mhm.
you should never be talking personal finance with your numbers, what you make. You're like,
Mhm.
might as well give someone your T4 and your SIN
Yeah.
number. Like, here you go, buddy. Don't do that. As an adult, we don't talk about currency or whatever. But what I talk to Alex about is like, investing, stocks, bro. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Where should I put my money, right? And a huge reason why Team Bionic and everything has been what it is. Number one, the bank that I'm at is RBC because of you.
Mm.
And the way that I've been able to save my money and do all this type of stuff has been because of what you have shared with me at like a young age, like 18, 19, 20. Like we're 23 now, bro.
Yeah.
Like from 18 to 21, you were learning so much, dude. Like, and it was like, and I was like, oh wow, like I never like thought of it like this. Like if it wasn't for you and my other friends like that invest in stocks, like I wouldn't be investing in stocks and all this type of stuff. And it's just super cool to have by my side. Like you are the consigliere to Team Bionic, bro, and that's why I wanted to have you on here and have you share. Like you're in finance, but you've kind of gone to that next level of like
Yeah.
you wanted to get a job in the field. Now you're working. I want to get to your job
Yeah.
in a bit, what you're doing currently now, but you've kind of climbed the ladder in the sense that like you're never staggered. You're always. And what are
Yeah.
you studying for? Tell everybody what you're studying
Oh,
for.
I'm doing my CFA.
Cash, super casual. So I mean, like you're 23 years old, bro. Like the stuff that you've been able to accomplish, just in terms of like your mindset and like life and the banks and all that stuff, and just like kind of the foundation that you've set is like super impressive, dude. Like I've never seen anything like that from someone our age. And the cool thing too, dude, like to watch us grow, bro, like being in elementary school, high school, biking around, whatever. Now we both have cars, dude.
Yeah.
Like we both have cars. We both like are doing what we want, and like it's all because of the foundation that we laid when we were like 18 to 22. You know, like not what we're doing now, but like the stuff that you've learned and applied into your life, bro, is impressive, dude. It's
Thank you.
sick. And
Yeah.
now you're studying like this guy. The guy is like. And here's something else I want to mention about you, bro. Is like Alex is the type of friend that like we won't talk for like a couple weeks, a month, whatever. And it's been like that since I left Joan, because
Yeah.
like we weren't seeing each other at school every day. But it's like nothing ever changes. You know what I mean? And I know this kid's like actually studying in his office for like 8 hours a day past work. Like he is so committed to the CFA because of how low percentage the rates are of passing.
Yeah.
But the thing with you, bro, is that you believe you can be in that percentage.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about you, bro.
Yeah.
You have that work ethic.
Yeah, the way I see it, especially when it comes to the CFA, is whether I pass or fail, I just want to know whether it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I never want to think, oh, what if I tried that? Like, what if I went for it?
Work more on it. Yeah.
I'd rather think, oh, well, like I tried, I gave it my best, I failed, but I'm happy with that, instead of always thinking, what if I did this? What if I tried? So like, and that's what I think a lot of people are afraid of. They're afraid of admitting that they failed when it comes to anything, not even the CFA, like anything in life. So I really feel like you need to get over that kind of pride and that hump, because pride will always hold you back when it comes to anything in life. So whether I fail or pass, I'm happy that I gave it a shot.
Let's go. That fires me up. The pride thing is so true, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Like and ego. I
Yeah,
think
ego
and pride
too,
ego
yeah.
and pride are like up there,
Big
bro.
time.
They're the two things that if you can't kind of suppress that or whatever, it definitely holds you back for sure,
Big
bro.
time.
And no, you can see, man, your growth is it's a juggernaut. You can't stop it. Like you're so driven and so determined, bro. And now bridging from this, we're gonna update with like your finance job, what you're doing right now later, like at the end of the
Yeah.
podcast. But what I want to talk about now is how your work ethic from school and from life and like saving and doing all these things has also helped you in the gym.
Correct.
For you, bro, anybody that knows Alex, that's ever seen Alex in person, like this guy's an absolute savage. Like he's probably like 2 times my size. He's like 60, 70 pounds heavier than me, just to put it into perspective for anyone that's never seen this kid in person. But it's ridiculously impressive. And I wanted to share a funny story on the podcast. So basically, when I signed up at the gym in grade 9, I only went to that gym for 1 year, and then I switched to the gym that was super close to both of our homes, which is like a plaza really close to us, really small gym. So I switched to the gym. I've been going there for a couple months, whatever, putting up decent numbers. I'm a young, skinny kid, grade 10. And Alex had a pair of 15-pound dumbbells. And he was like at home in the basement. And I remember you were like, yeah, dude, like I do like 500 push-ups sometimes, like randomly, or like almost every day. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I do like 100 triangle push-ups. I do 100 clap push-ups. I do 100 Superman flying, spinning around 18 times in the air push-ups. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy on, bro? What is this guy saying? And he's telling me all this shit. And he has 1 pair of dumbbells. I have a full-blown gym. Everybody else that I'm going to the gym with at that time, all of our buddies, all access to cables and all this shit. And Alex is like still 3 times all of our size. And we're like, what the fuck, man? This kid comes into the gym. We not snuck him in. We knew the owner, and he was like a cool younger Italian guy, funny enough.
Yeah.
And we were like, bro, come on, let Alex into the gym. We just want to see what his bench is, because we still hadn't gone into the Joan of Arc weight room.
Yeah.
we're like, come on, let the kid in. He's a fucking animal. We need to see this. Guys, especially guys, okay? This guy benched 2 plates his first time ever putting a barbell in his hand. Pure, off of pure just strength. And it's like, wow, like you would never you tell anybody like, yeah, man, I've been doing push-ups, and whatever, and I just first time I benched is 225. Like nobody would even believe that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So since day one, since the first time you ever stepped foot in a gym, it was like, man, like what has the gym given you? This is the question I want to ask you. Like why have you been so obsessed about the gym, bro?
I think the gym for me and also a lot of people, it's almost like an escape. It's a way to get excess energy out, stress, any type of anxiety, whatever the case.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I just loved going to the gym. So going there, whether it be 6 in the morning, 9 at night, doesn't matter. The time never
Yeah,
matters.
you used to pull like super random
Yeah.
times at the gym.
Yeah, so I always loved going to the gym. It was never an issue for me to get into the gym, do my
Mhm.
cardio, do my workout, and get out. And yeah, so it was just like, and the way I work out is I always want to go heavier. Like I
Mhm.
plate jump, as
Mhm.
they call it. So for example, if I start with a bench, first set's 1 plate aside. My second set is 2 plates aside. My third set is 3 plates aside. Fourth
Mhm.
set, 4 plates.
Yeah, so I mean, and this isn't normal for anybody listening to the pod. Like this is not like the normal way to do things. Like if I plate jump this term, I don't know, you created this. If I plate jump, I'm done after the second set. Like this guy, I remember one time I went to Good Life with this guy, and we're benching, and he's like, "Oh, second set is 2 plates." I'm like, bro, that's my max. Like, what are you saying? I needed a 25, and then the third set, this guy made me do 2 plates. Like, I was like, and then I crushed it. I actually crushed
Yeah.
it. But the thing is, you're so like fucking to that next level, And it's like I've learned so much from you. And here's the thing, bro. I listen to a lot of people online, like a lot of people from like California, ex-Mr. Olympias, all this type of stuff that I'm watching, and it's like the stuff I've learned in the gym with you, bro, is like the stuff that I use like the most. The fucking the squeeze, like you have this like fucking, it's got to be like to a max, like a la grande, like to all the way to the top, like every single time. So it's like, and not to be whatever, everybody has their way of working out, but I see people online, oh, I'm doing this today, 3 sets, 12 reps, like.
Yeah.
There's something wrong there. This guy told me never minimum 5 sets. And I'm like, what do you mean minimum? He's like, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 7, 8. Like if it's drop sets, pyramid sets, all these types of things, strip sets. And I'm like, man, like, this guy is willing to work so fucking hard for the way he wants to be and look. It is part what you were saying at the beginning, like it's an escape, it's therapy or whatever. But like at this point, like you have a knack for it. It's not like you're just like fucking going there to blow off some steam. Like you really always want to get better and bigger and stronger and leaner and more ripped, and
Correct.
it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I always took working out as more than just a physical kind of exercise. Like the way I see it is it's a lot of mind over matter in the sense of, for example, what I would do, and here's the big secret to get stronger.
Okay, guys, listen up here. I'm gonna clip this on the Instagram. Are you guys ready for this? From the man himself. This is why I brought him on here for tips. If you are into fitness, lifting weights, or anything, get a fucking notepad and a pencil now. You're stupid if you're just watching this podcast. If you exercise regularly and you don't write this down. Go ahead, sir.
All right. So you need like a lifting partner or someone to just spot you on this. What I would do, and this is how I hit a 4-plate bench. So I was hitting 3 well, 3 1/4 well, but I could never hit 4 until basically what I did was I was at like 375 and I got it up, tried 4, couldn't do 4. So what I would do was I would put 4 plates on and then add more weight to that, knowing full well I can't get this up, whether it was a 10 or a 25 or whatever. And I would lift it off the bar and hold it up just to make my mind and my body realize, okay, this is what 4 plates and 410 or 420 feels like. And I would have my spotter under me and I would say, okay, I'm going to go down now. And I would bring it all the way down. And then I would have him help me to push it back up for a handful of times. And even though he's spotting probably 60%, that part of where you're holding it and coming down with it without any help you feel, your mind starts to remember how that feels. So then the next time you attempt 4 plates, your mind's going to remember how 420 felt, and the 4 plates is going to feel just a little bit lighter, and it's going to be easier to push up. And that's what I would do when it comes to deadlift, when it came to squat, when it came to bench. Use your spotter. Your spotter is probably one of the most important people in the gym, and it's going to be what gets you stronger if you have a good spotter.
And this is the guy that I grew up working out with, just to put into perspective for you guys. Yeah, dude. And it's not even on those 3 lifts, bro. Like, if we're curling, this guy's like fucking pushing the bar down as I'm trying to go up, resisting me, in my face, screaming in my face, telling me to do more, telling me, well, don't count, just keep going, and all this stuff. So it 100%, bro. And it's like that with life, man.
Mm-hmm.
The people that you surround yourself with,
Yeah, correct,
make the biggest effect on who you're going to become, your progress in life, progress in the gym, if your numbers are going to go up, if you want to become leaner, whatever it is that your goal. And in life, surround yourself with people that are going to push you.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what I got from that. But at the same time, you have like this next level. Because here's the thing. My point to that is not everybody has the ability to be like, I'm going to put something on there that I can't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Just that concept in general is like, no one thinks of that. No one's in the gym like, I'm going to put a bunch of weight on the squat, and if I fucking bail it, I bail it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everybody stays in their comfort zone.
Yeah, correct.
Right? So it's a level of you being able to challenge your own self where you're like, I don't give a shit if like this 450 pounds on my back falls off. I'll just drop it behind me, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now next time I do 440 on the squat, like, I'll probably crush it because it's 10 pounds lighter. So to go fucking 20 pounds above your max and put it in your hand on the bench or whatever it may be, it's not the normal thought process. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so.
and honestly, it comes down to effort too. That's a huge thing. So for example, last year when the gyms were still open, a friend of mine who really had never kind of worked out before in the gym asked me, like, where do you go? Like, how long do you work out for? And he's a really good friend. So, and I told him, I was like, I work out 2 to 3 hours a day, every single day. I know most people who I've told that say, oh, that's too much. Like, you're destroying your muscle. You're going catabolic. Everyone's body's different. It works for me. It might not work for everyone, but working out 2 to 3 hours a day always worked for me. And that's pretty much how I got to like the size I am. However, this guy who had never been in the gym, he was like, I'm down. What gym do you go to? What time do you go? And I told him 7 a.m. every day I'm in the gym. And I was like, but you have to like be ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought for sure after the first week he was going to be done, quit. And we went in, we worked out together. I pushed him to the max, and I was trying to get him to kind of go heavier because I noticed he was in that comfort zone of, no, like, I don't want to go past this. Like, I don't want to go past this. And then I remember at one point he said, oh, next week on our next chest and back, I'll do that. And I was like, next week? Our next chest and back is in 3 days. He was like, what? It's like, because I do everything twice a week at minimum, everything. So eventually over time, I kind of broke his comfort zone, and he got really, really strong. We only worked out for about 5-6 weeks together before the lockdown shut everything down again. And he was already looking like a different person because I was pushing him. I was making
he was challenging himself.
What I did was I found his strength muscle, and the strength muscle is the one that gets strongest the fastest and gets biggest the fastest. For me, mine's my arms. For him, it was his legs. So his legs were getting really, really strong. Like, he started out squatting 1 plate. I was squatting about 3.5, 4 at that time. And within 6 weeks, he was already at 2.5, 3 plates. He was gumming up fast. But then his chest was lacking. So what I did was I combined the leg and chest day to kind of make up for that. But it showed me he was willing, someone who had really never been in the gym, he was willing to come and work out with me 2 to 3 hours a day minimum, do the cardio. Never complained once. He just wanted to get better. And it showed me like that you need that type of effort level and you need that type of consistency to really make it in the fitness industry. And you know that for sure by training people. Like someone who's going to half it and only go like, oh, today I'm tired. Like, I'm only going to do an hour. It doesn't work like that. And honestly, there were times where I would meet him at the gym for 7. We'd take our pre together. An hour in, I would be like, okay, like, I'm feeling kind of tired, whatever, it happens. And then he would be the one like, yo, let's go. Like, we got to hit this. We got to hit this. We got to hit this. And it was nice of me to see that growth in him, from
Mm-hmm.
going to someone who really never worked out to telling me like, hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. That was what made me happy.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
now he has his home. He bought a home gym and everything.
bro, and
Complete change.
I think you've touched so many people in the gym, like in that sense, in that motivation sense, because before, like, I'm not gonna mention the gym that you went to, but the gym that you went to, everybody knew who you were,
Yeah.
and it was like you're the quietest dude, bro. That's the fucking funny part. It's like you're the quietest kid, and it's like you you just look like a certain way,
Hmm.
where everyone's in the gym like, what the fuck is this guy on?
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember the first time you picked up a 5 plate deadlift, we were in this gym, and the grunt at the end, like, guys, I swear to God, everybody in the gym looked like it was like popcorn. Like, people had popcorn in their hands, like, and the top levels of the gym doing their cardio, people from the side, like, everybody's looking at this guy because it's just like, at the end of the day, impressive. And it's like, you've motivated so many younger dudes, probably
Hmm.
girls too, that like see you in the gym and they're like, oh my God, this guy's here again. Oh my God, this guy, didn't he come this morning?
Yeah.
The worker's there. What the fuck? This guy actually works out whatever many times a day or however long a day or whatever. And it's like, you went there for years and years and years, and probably the amount of people that have seen you there, seen the work you put in, it's undeniable, bro.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from you. And that's something that I love about exercising and fitness, is that one of my buddies back in the day said to me, this is something that I'll never forget. And he said, working out is like a silent resume,
Hmm.
right? Like, when people see you in a t-shirt, they see you in a tank top, like, they know. You don't need to say anything, you know what I mean? Like, your body does the talking for you. And it's not to say that your body's everything and the way you look or whatever, but you weren't born like this. Like, you have
Yeah.
an insane work ethic. You put in the time, you put in the work, and that's why you're rewarded, right?
Yeah.
And
Correct.
and just like in everything in life, man, like, me and you are super obsessed with efficiency
Hmm.
in general, in life,
Yeah.
in finance, in working out, and just like our relationships and everything, right? Like, efficiency is kind of like the key.
It is.
And when efficiency means consistency, it means hard work, it means like putting in the extra effort and all that stuff. And we reap the rewards of that, which is like the
Hmm.
cool part, you know what I mean? It's not like when you work out you don't get anything out of it. Like,
Yeah.
you get mental benefits, you get physical benefits, you get confidence boosts, all these types of things, man, that
Yeah.
I think the gym for us,
Hmm.
and this is kind of like almost everyone I have on the podcast is like extremely into working out. And if you're not, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What you can learn from this podcast is so much more than inside the gym
Yeah.
or financially or whatever. It's a mindset, everybody. It's the way that Alex is motivated and always wants to get better, and it bleeds into everything, right? It
Hmm.
bleeds into your school, it bleeds into your extracurriculars, it bleeds into your CFA, everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think that's another reason why we click super well, bro.
Yeah.
Because we're both hard ass workers, old
Yeah.
school fucking Italian, like,
Yeah.
put to work at a young ass age. When did you start working?
Grade 8.
Grade 8,
Yeah.
dishwasher.
Dishwasher.
For how long? Years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing too. I've worked as a dishwasher. We've worked those tough ass jobs, man. Like,
Yeah.
hauling ass, making money and saving our money. And now here we are today, bro, 23 years old.
Yeah.
We're never going to be done.
Yeah. No.
That's the cool thing, bro. Like, you have so many cool things coming up in your life. Tell everybody what you're doing right now, what your job is.
So right now I work at Quest Trade, and I do like financial modeling for some of the investments that they have, the investors. We're also trying to break into the mortgage department, so I'm working in that and trying to pioneer that, as well as like Quest Bank and a lot of other different initiatives that we're starting. So that's pretty much what I'm doing now. Still a lot of finance stuff. And one of the cool things about it, actually, and something I started recently, is that at Quest Trade, we're partnered with schools across the GTA.
Okay.
So I was actually able to go, I actually teach grade 7 kids finance. Yeah, so I teach 44 grade 7 kids finance.
That's
like
so
I hold
cool.
the class for them, yeah.
That's so cool, bro.
Yeah,
And
they're
y-
so bright. The next generation, I truly believe, is going to take us there. 'Cause they're so technologically advanced, and they're obsessed with the cryptocurrencies and the digital currencies.
That's crazy. That's unbelievable. And like, going back to that Kevin Hart podcast, like, financial literacy was never something that any of
Yeah.
us learned growing up. Our parents didn't learn that.
Yeah.
We didn't learn that. It was never in any curriculum. You know what I mean? Like, you graduate grade 12, you still don't know
Yeah,
things about the bank and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So
true.
that's why, bro, like I am so thankful for you, dude, because like I wouldn't necessarily seek that as much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's super into finance, super into stocks and stuff like that. Everybody wants to make money.
Yeah.
That's universal,
Yeah.
but not everybody knows how to manage money. Not everybody knows like the right things to do with their money. So the fact that it's now being progressive enough to
Yeah.
be into the schools, bro, I think that's so cool. And I think
Yeah.
that a young person like you is the best person to teach those kids.
Yeah.
Like you don't want like someone from the generation above us
No.
teaching those
No. No.
kids. You
No.
know what I mean? Like you're super progressive
Yeah.
in that sense. So you can share that with them. But if you look at the older generations, you know,
Yeah.
they didn't learn it, so how can you teach it type of
Exactly.
thing, you know what I
Correct.
mean? And you're fresh out of school too, bro.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
all that stuff you just learned at college is
Yeah.
fresh in your mind.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So
So yeah, it was good to talk to the kids. I enjoyed it, and they're really bright. They ask a lot of questions. Very respectful kids too.
mhm.
And like honestly, like my main takeaway to them was, even though I was supposed to just discuss like what a TFSA is, RSP, digital currency, I also wanted to make it a little bit more personal with them.
Mhm.
So like I told them stuff that I wish I was told in grade 7 or grade 8, before you kind of enter high school, before like a harsh reality might set in.
Mhm.
So I pretty much told them, I was like, there's so many ways now to make money. I was like, don't always just rely on one income stream or your job, whether you're working a 9 to 5 or whatever. Always make sure you have multiple income streams, whether it's like a Shopify store or a YouTube channel or going and doing deliveries and doing Skip and Uber or whatever the case.
Mhm.
And I told them also, like, find what your passion is, find what you want to do with life, what you want to change, how you want to influence people, and just go for it. And I was like, don't fall into that trap of, oh, I need to go to university, I need to go to college, I need to go into the trades. Do whatever you want, do whatever you love, and just find your passion. Everything will fall into place at that point. And like it was nice to be able to tell them, because I didn't have someone tell me that growing up. Like it was always, you need to go to university, you need to get a degree, you need to work a 9 to 5, like, you know, like
Yeah,
that type of.
yeah.
And like realistically nowadays with the technological advancements we have, we don't need to do that. Like that's not a must anymore, unless you want to be like a lawyer or a doctor or I don't know, something else. Then you
Mhm.
need to go to university, you need to get the proper education. But other than that, you can do whatever your heart desires.
Mhm. And for anyone out there that is younger watching the podcast, because I have the age ranges of
Mhm.
like who listens to it. If you're in the lower age range and you're listening to this podcast, that is number one piece of advice ever, because it's 100% true, bro. And you're such an example of that coming out of college,
Mhm.
like studying business, but in college, like not going to like this like exquisite school in
Yeah.
Ontario, like where like you had to move there and live in res and all this stuff and whatever. Like you went to college for finance, for like a specific business thing that you wanted to do, and you integrated yourself into the industry super young. Like
Mhm.
that RBC thing that you went to the States for, like how old were you when you did that?
Oh man, that was like maybe
Like
two,
two,
3 years
two,
ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah, so I was probably like 19, 20.
20 years old.
Yeah.
And tell them what you went to the States for.
So RBC was hosting a case competition. So I was chosen to go and represent RBC at the case competition for my department. And so me and 2 other of my buddies ended up going, and we represented RBC. We didn't win, but we did pretty well. We finished top 5, I believe. So we did well. And it was just nice to kind of like, we had hotels, everything. It was nice. It was only like a 3-day event, but it was nice.
You got flown out.
No, no, no.
No, you
We
drove?
yeah, we had to drive.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right.
So we drove down. It wasn't too far, so it wasn't bad either. So yeah, we chilled, we hung out. It was nice to meet a lot of people from different banks, different schools, different institutions, and yeah, it was fun to meet a bunch of recruiters at RBC. Yeah, there was a lot of representation there, and I was happy to do it. So it was definitely a good learning experience.
That's crazy, bro. So that just goes to show you that you weren't like top of your class at, you know, whatever the fuck. Like you were just in college studying what you love,
Yeah.
doing it as a job, and it kind of just showed by you getting picked, you getting
Yeah.
selected. You know what I mean? They're not going to select some schmuck to
Yeah.
go represent the bank in the States from Canada.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's extremely impressive, bro. That was actually something really cool. I was so proud of you when you were doing that.
Yeah.
Like when you were out in the hotel, I was so fired up.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so cool. You were like in a suit
Yeah. Yeah.
posting, and I was like, man, like that is absolutely unreal. So
And I still went to the gym there.
yeah, the hotel gym, eh?
No, no, like an actual gym.
Oh, you actually like
Yeah.
get a day pass,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
absolute savage, bro. So yeah, man, like honestly, bro, it's been a pleasure for the past. How long has it been? We've been friends, bro.
yeah.
4 to
20 years, man.
20 years, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So it's been a while, 20 years, man. Like you've helped me so much, buddy. That's why I wanted to have you on the podcast because, dude, we've been through so much.
Yeah, we've been through a lot.
It's been through a lot. You gotta chug your beer, cause you haven't been sipping it very much. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, yeah, you got it, buddy. You got it. You got it. So yeah, everybody. We are just going to finish off our day with the Italy game.
Yeah.
Super, super chill. Oh, tomorrow I'm taking you golfing
Oh, yes.
for the first time.
First time.
So that'll be a journey. If you follow me on Insta, make sure to check that out. I'm definitely going to be posting about that because it's going to be awesome. We're going with a really cool group. Things are opening back up in Ontario finally this weekend, guys. This podcast is going up on Sunday, the 13th of June. So if you're listening to this, things are already open over the weekend. Hopefully you are all treating your servers really, really nicely. Everybody's going to be fresh back to work. Be super kind to everybody. We are so pumped to have restaurants and patios back open up. I think we might be going somewhere tonight actually after the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we might have a reservation. My family's gonna go. We're gonna have some drinks, some nice food, and enjoy life, man. Because it's time to open things back up. This is why now you see Alex is coming over. For the podcast is because things are opening back up again, guys. I'm hopefully going to have a couple more in-person podcasts because, I'm going to have certain people on Zoom that don't live in Mississauga, like in Ontario. There are a couple people that I have coming up that I know for sure are going to have to be Zoom podcasts. But as much as I can, I would like to continue to safely have guests here over at the house for a nice drink. It's just better vibes. Like me and you could have done this podcast a month ago on Zoom.
Yeah.
Who wants that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Time to open it back up again. Life is somewhat going back to normal, I hope. Another funny thing is too, tomorrow was supposed to be the show date. So I am not on prep, as you guys all know. I am enjoying a nice beer with my buddy. Like this is, summer. You gotta enjoy it now. So it's all about balance, and that's the cool thing about you too, bro. It's not like you're not like super strict with like your whole gym lifestyle and everything. Like, like why don't you put pressure on yourself?
I don't put pressure on myself just because, like, I've never been a big dieter, and you know that.
I know that. Yeah, that's what I mean. So you have this, like, really cool relationship. This is the last thing I want to talk about because it's, like, it's actually insane because you have a really good relationship with food. Yeah. Like, for you, food has always been fuel, even if it's not, like, the cleanest meals. Yeah. Like, how do you, like, relieve that pressure from yourself?
So basically what I would do is if I wanted to have a bag of chips, because I've always been a salty food guy. I'm not I don't have a sweet tooth. So salty foods are my type of thing.
Like snacks?
Yeah, snacks. So, for example, a bag of chips. If I want to go eat a whole bag of chips, I'll see how many calories are in that bag. Let's say it's 800. And I'll make sure I'll go and burn 800 calories on cardio. So that's how I balanced myself out to be able to still enjoy like the foods I want, and it worked for me, honestly. Like I still got down to like 8% when I was
but you're not like it's not like a bad relationship because that doesn't sound good. Yeah, like straight up. Yeah. Like it's not like people are gonna be like, oh, if I fucking smash half a thing of cupcakes, like I'll just fucking go to the treadmill. No. Bro, like that's not the way it's gonna go. You're not gonna look like Alex if you do that. Fucking disclaimer for you all. Like
everyone's body's different.
Exactly. And you've been saying that throughout the podcast and it's like, bro, like, oh man, it's just crazy. You're so fucking mature, dude, now. Like it's incredible. Like the way that you eat and you train and you recover and you're so meticulous, bro. Like, oh my God, like I have taken so much from you, dude, when it comes to like eating and stuff like. And here's the thing, guys, I was never able to gain weight. So for me, this guy helped me with that. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting at like 185, 190 pounds. I used to be like 160 pounds, 165 pounds back in high school. And Alex was always like, eat more, eat more, eat more. And I'm like, damn, bro, this guy eats that much. So I always had like that example to look up to. And you've always been that for me, dude. So I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast, my guy. Absolute pleasure, bro.
My pleasure.
You're the fucking best, buddy.
Yeah.
So, Forza Azzurri, tutti guanti. Big fucking game coming up, guys. We're both rocking the Pirlo jersey. Let's go. We both have cars, so we're putting flags on our cars this year. We're so excited. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Hope you guys learned something from this podcast. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube already, please make sure to subscribe. You can also catch this on any listening platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Thank you guys so much for listening. Forza Azzurri. One more cheers, buddy.
Forza Azzurri.
And we are out, guys.
See ya.
Peace.